You are listening to Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. My name is Eden, and I invite you to embark on a journey with me to explore the practical and spiritual edges of the unknown for the purpose of allowing you to embody and empower yourself uniquely as you are and to intentionally create and live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Each week, I'm going to discuss topics such as energetics, reality creation, manifestation, astrology, tarot, and more to help empower you to live beyond perceived limitations and to practically design your life so it feels like absolute magic every step of the way. Let's dive in. Well, hello, brilliant soul. For episode 88, I wanted to bring to you the next chapter of our tarot series. The reason being is that 88 tends to be a very special number representing the present moment, material and spiritual abundance, as well as infinite potential, themes that are aligned with tarot and our next major arcana archetype. And so I am here to officially introduce you to the Hermit. Interestingly, the Hermit is the 9th card of the major arcana as opposed to the 8th. And yet, in exploring it a little more closely, I'm sensing that the power of the 8 that we saw through the Strength archetype is very much lended to this next card. And I'm feeling particularly excited to weave these threads of curiosity with you. The Hermit is actually a card that is near and dear to my heart. Because when I first began my spiritual and personal development journey, I discovered a metaphysical shop in Toronto called the Hermit's Lamp. And at the time, I had no idea the homage being paid to tarot. Yet, like the metaphysical store and many other aspects of tarot, the Hermit and his lamp carries with it nuggets of wisdom that offer the gift of leading you to understanding the fulfillment you're seeking in life and the clues to embody it. So far, our Fool has traversed quite the journey over the last 8 cards of the major arcana, ultimately discovering the courage and the strength to go into the depths of the unseen. Here, we have now arrived at a mountain peak, the Hermit's domain, dark, solemn, and pensive. The only light source to be seen is that of his lamp, which carries within it a 6-sided glowing star, warm, bright, and infinite, emblematic of the infinite wisdom that pulses within. Along with the Hermit, we are standing at a precipice in our journey, and we have 2 decisions to make. The first one being the willingness to continue the journey forward. The innocence of childhood has long since passed, and along the path, you have inevitably endured bumps, bruises, mishaps, and obstacles. Have these quests deterred you from continuing? Or do you have a compulsion to keep going? Are you feeling magnetized to continue forward, to prevail, to learn the lessons and overcome the limitations? Regarding the second decision available to you, lies the invitation for you to teach through the experience of your path thus far. The truth of the matter is that even if you doubt your capabilities, even if you can't see the brilliance and magnificence of who you are, you have experienced a unique journey that belongs solely to you. One that has embedded wisdom available to support someone else who is going through something similar, available to lead the person who is just a couple of steps behind you on this path called life. Isn't this funny how this happens, how at any given moment you are learning and embodying something that is the medicine for someone else, and that person can then utilize the lessons you've imparted, blend the insight with their unique perspective, and offer a new medicine to someone new who will benefit from their unique vantage point. Together we walk, together we rise. And therein lies the power of the Hermit. After gaining the strength to go deep within themselves and embracing the parts of themselves that they find beastly. Our fool has seen some things in life, experiences that, if cherished and learned from, can be used to help someone else. And at the same time, our fool is also desiring support for the next leg of the journey, struck with a question of uncertainty, not knowing where to go from here, desiring guidance for something or someone who has a new perspective or vantage point for them. And here, the fool meets the hermit. The idea of the hermit holds a notable place in collective culture, especially in feudal times. The hermit was a spiritual figurehead who lived far away from the hustle and bustle of high society, in isolation somewhere in the woods or in the desert, intentionally detached from the typical musings of civilized humanity in his or her quest for inner guidance. The hermit presented an alternative to organized religion and demonstrated the possibility of connecting with God through personal experience rather than religious intervention. People often regarded hermits as living saints, attributing magical powers to them in awe of their wisdom. And the question herein lies in the wonderment of whether the fool has become the hermit, met the hermit, or both. Is the guidance that the fool is seeking a byproduct of a developed inner wisdom, or is it offered by the support of another? I believe contemplating both perspectives is useful to understand the power of the guidance that you seek and its source. For me, upon contemplation, I believe that a guide such as the hermit need not exist external, though they can. In life, when you're feeling like you are stuck with a bout of uncertainty, doubt, or confusion, and you're suddenly finding yourself wanting an answer key, you have it. And in all cases, you can trust that the solution exists at a different frequency than the problem that created it. The guide or guidebook can be summoned from the willingness to open your mind to receiving it. And it may come through a format that you're not particularly expecting. Your insight may arise in a dream. Perhaps you've overheard a conversation that sparks an idea. Perhaps you've met a new mentor at your local cafe. The hermit archetype is inviting you to understand that it is within your prowess to decide that you can become a match to receiving or channeling the guidance you seek, and that you are the medicine and guide for another. I'm getting this image of a beautiful cyclical stream of energy wherein the growth of collective humanity is wrapped in the mutual exploration, development, and support that each of us seek and offer. Funnily enough, the image that I'm seeing in my mind is the number 8. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, while the hermit is represented by the number 9, the power of the number 8 was established in the preceding tarot card. And now, here we are at the precipice, at the center, on the mountain peak, where the insight gained from the deep acceptance of our inner self can be used to both help and grow in perpetual motion. As you move forward from this episode, remember that your journey through life is not just about reaching destinations. It's about the wisdom gained, the quiet moments of clarity, and the light you gather that can illuminate paths, not just your own, but those of others who are walking alongside you. Until next time.